And I'm not saying allegedly.
Oh, okay. Okay, well,
I'm saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of shit. Taking Pimp C wasn't bad enough. You just want to go down there and you want to just remove all of the balls from every real gangster in Houston.
Hip-hop has always carried whispers, stories about power moving in the shadows, about careers shaped not just by talent or hustle, but by forces you'll never see on stage. One of the loudest voices pushing that narrative is Jaz-O, the man who once stood beside a young Sean Carter in the Marcy Projects. He claims Jay-Z's rise wasn't just a grinded-out success story. He says it was engineered, through secret rooms, coded gestures, and alliances with groups older and darker than hip-hop itself. In Jaz-O's telling, this isn't just music, it's control.
A lot of potential. Jay was more quiet. But I mean, I learned that Jay was being quiet because he was taking notes. He was taking notes, observing everything, taking it all in. Because, sometimes you're around and you're watching to see things to do. But some people are around.
And that's why the sting of betrayal cuts so deep. Jaz-O wasn't just some critic shouting from the sidelines. He was Jay's mentor, his big brother figure. His beats carried Jay in the early days, back when Hawaiian Sophie made more people laugh than nod their heads. They shared stages, secrets, even survival. But Jaz-O believes all of that loyalty was traded away in 1989, during a trip to London. To outsiders it looked like business, a record deal, meetings with EMI. But in Jaz-O's version, that trip marked the night Jay took an oath, choosing power over brotherhood. From then on, he says, the hungry kid from Marcy was gone, replaced by someone chasing something much bigger and much colder.
But I respect a response, and again, hindsight, a lot of people don't, people say, well, if I was Jay-Z, I would have done this. But you're not. And yeah. I gotta say this. You're not. So you don't know the situation.
Where the story takes an even darker turn is in the suggestion that Jay didn't just join the game, he mastered it. Jaz-O argues that Jay learned to move like a ghost, letting others take the hits while he stayed untouchable. Look at Diddy, he says. Every scandal, every headline, every storm seemed to land at Puffy's feet, while Jay kept climbing higher. Was it coincidence, or a strategy that used distraction as protection? According to Jaz-O, even their personal bond was sacrificed. Once the mentor had given him connections, beats, even the gun Jay would later rap about in one of his most infamous stories, he became a liability. Jaz-O claims Jay simply shut the door, stepping deeper into those hidden circles, leaving the man who built him outside.
Weirdo. Don't get no what you got in your head, that neural link. You'll never outthink me. Ever.
And then comes the shadow of Kathy White, a name that surfaces like a ghost in this story. Kathy was a publicist, known in the fitness world, who found herself tangled in rumors of an affair with Jay. Friends say she considered going public, even reaching out to Jay about a price. But days after Beyoncé's pregnancy news made global headlines, Kathy was suddenly gone. Officially, it was called a medical emergency. But those close to her weren't convinced. They pointed to the timing, to whispers about toxic substances, to an autopsy report that never seemed to see the light of day. For a man with a spotless global brand on the verge of fatherhood, the silence around her passing was, at the very least, convenient.
What's up, what's up? This is Beyonce on the red carpet with one of the hottest female artists out here, Miss Aaliyah. How you doing,
baby?
girl?
It's so good to see you again.
Kathy's death echoed fears others had long voiced. Journalist Liz Crokin remembered speaking to her in those final days. First Kathy denied, then she hesitated, then she hinted she might come forward. And then, she was gone. Blogs claimed Jay had people in law enforcement, even coroners, who could make an unnatural ending look clean on paper. Years later, Claudia Jordan, one of Kathy's close friends, hinted she believed Jay wanted her out of the way. Whether rumor or reality, the unease never faded. To critics, Kathy's fate became the warning sign, the story people whispered when they talked about what it means to cross certain lines in this business. And to Jaz-O, it was proof. Proof that Jay's initiation decades ago wasn't about music. It was about stepping into a world where power means erasing threats, where allies become pawns, and where silence is sometimes bought with blood. In that light, Jaz-O's story stops sounding like jealousy and starts sounding like a warning. A reminder that in the upper reaches of fame, loyalty is disposable, truth is dangerous, and the price of speaking out may be higher than anyone is willing to pay.
I want you to think about this. Allegedly, Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce.
If there's a single moment where the story of Jay-Z's rise takes its darkest turn, many point to London in 1989. On paper, it was Jaz-O's trip, his shot at recording under EMI, with Jay tagging along as his hype man. But the whispers say there was more happening than music. They claim Jay wasn't just hanging in the studio. He was being ushered into private meetings, handshakes behind closed doors, quiet dinners with men most 19-year-olds could never dream of meeting. And when he returned from that trip, people noticed the change. The kid scribbling rhymes in Brooklyn stairwells now carried himself with a sharper edge, as though he'd already seen the blueprint of his future. Friends say his talk shifted too, less about songs, more about moves. And not moves made by talent alone, but by connections. This is where the word Freemason enters the picture. To critics, those pyramid hands, all-seeing eyes, and coded references weren't clever branding. They were breadcrumbs, symbols Jay dropped on purpose, either as proof of his membership or as a taunt to those watching. Whether truth or performance, his career after London tells its own story. The groundwork for Reasonable Doubt, partnerships with heavyweights like Irv Gotti, and a rise that seemed unstoppable at a time when most unsigned rappers never even got past the block.
Jay-Z new video with Nas and DJ Khaled is a scene where it's checkerboards. These are all occult Satanists.
So how did Jay-Z climb when so many others fell? His genius on the mic, no doubt. His business sense, undeniable. But Jaz-O insists there was something more at work. He paints it as a storm of ambition mixed with manipulation, a system built to clear the path for Jay while rivals were silenced, stuck in label wars, or derailed by personal struggles. Look at the late 90s. So many gifted voices, gone before their time or trapped in contracts that buried them. Yet Jay kept rising, untouched, like someone playing the game with a shield no one else had. To Jaz-O, that's not luck, it's orchestration.
But after that major documentary comes out on Diddy, then you're going to start to hear more and more about Jay-Z and his nefarious past.
Fast forward to the Empire years, and Roc Nation becomes the centerpiece of Jay's story. To the public, it's a juggernaut, a label, a sports agency, a cultural powerhouse that can turn unknown artists into global names. But those who claim to know the inside say it's more than a business, it's a system of control. They describe Roc Nation not just as a company, but as a network where influence and money flow upward, and loyalty flows back down. The partnerships with brands, the sports agency deals, the streaming ventures, critics argue they're not simply creative projects. They're levers, each one adding to a fortress of power around Jay. What really fuels suspicion is the silence. Artists tied to Roc Nation almost never speak up when controversies touch Jay or Beyonce. It's as if contracts come with more than legal clauses, they come with unwritten rules. Stay quiet, stay loyal, or lose everything.
There's no artist, be clear, there's no artist in this industry that's doing major numbers with these platforms that haven't sold their soul.
And that's where the whispers grow even darker. Some say Roc Nation isn't just a business, but a recruitment hub. New artists, thrilled to sign the deal of a lifetime, may unknowingly step into something much bigger. Behind the flashy launch parties and polished networking dinners, conspiracy theorists claim there are tests, rituals disguised as industry events, moments designed to measure loyalty before opportunity. In that framing, Roc Nation doesn't just launch careers, it binds them. It doesn't just create stars, it creates a hierarchy where silence, favors, and allegiance become the real currency. To believers in this story, Roc Nation is less a label and more a fortress, one that not only protects Jay-Z's legacy but ensures no one inside its walls dares to challenge it.
If we get to the bottom of Tupac's When that is finally revealed, 15 other will be revealed with it. And you will find that they were all committed by the same two people, father and son.
Rock Nation's reach doesn't end with music. Its fingerprints are seen in politics, fashion, sports, and even social movements. Jay-Z's presence at tables with presidents, billionaires, and world leaders is often praised as business brilliance, but critics say there's another layer. Jaz-O and others argue Rock Nation isn't just a brand, it's a vessel. A machine that serves not only Jay's ambitions, but possibly agendas older and more powerful than the entertainment industry itself. Every endorsement, every collaboration, every carefully staged photograph, they argue, is more than strategy. It's another stitch in a web of influence. And the deeper you look, the harder it is to ignore how Rock Nation's reach seems everywhere. From playlists that shape what we hear, to partnerships that shape what we watch, the company feels less like a record label and more like a quiet government within culture. To those who believe the whispers, this isn't coincidence. It's design.
So why does it all come to a head now? Why now? Why?
Because he's the acceptable monster at this time, like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch.
So who's next?
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, we see the lineup.
But the theories don't stop at business. They take a darker turn when people begin connecting Jay to what's now called the 25th conspiracy. 3 icons: Aaliyah, gone on August 25th. Lisa, Left Eye, Lopez, April 25th. Michael Jackson, June 25th. Different stories, same date. Could it really just be coincidence? Or does the number 25 carry a hidden weight in the industry's secret playbook? The very idea is chilling. Lives cut short on the same day across different years. To some, it's random tragedy. To others, it's a ritual code written into the timeline of pop culture.
If you're a halfway intelligent person, when do you start questioning how lucky some just keep getting?
Right.
Fueling the fire is J. Cole's track, She Knows. Fans dissect the song, pointing out lyrics that mention Aaliyah, Left Eye, and Michael, as if Cole was shining a light on a pattern others were too afraid to name. Even the title gets twisted into theories. She Knows reread as Sean Knowles, a chilling blend of Jay's real name and Beyoncé's surname. Some even claim the song briefly disappeared from platforms due to legal issues, which only deepen suspicion. Was Cole silenced for stepping too close to the truth? When paired with the timing of those deaths, Aaliyah tied to Damon Dash, Left Eye speaking openly about freeing herself from industry control, Michael locked in battle with Sony, the pattern grows haunting. Each was a disruptive force. Each passed on the 25th. Each under circumstances that still spark debate. Was it just coincidence, or a system removing obstacles in plain sight?
Jay-Z got his put by his sister-in-law on camera. What's her name? Solange. You got it. The feds ain't step in and do nothing. The feds don't care about you getting your ass whooped.
What unsettles people further is how other stars have acted around Jay and Beyoncé. Adele breaking her Grammy in half to dedicate it to Beyoncé. Kanye storming Taylor Swift's stage to defend her. Lizzo, Britney, Lady Gaga, all showing a level of praise that some call respect, and others whisper looks more like allegiance. Jaguar Wright has even gone on record, calling Jay and Beyoncé a nasty little couple tied to the same darkness now circling Diddy. She claims insiders are ready to speak, people who say the Carters' influence extends into places the public never sees. The symmetry is chilling. If Diddy is accused of building power through coercion and manipulation, then what does it mean that Jay remains untouchable, still celebrated, still admired? Jaz-O once warned, if Diddy is the decoy, Jay is the architect. And if Kathy White's story was the alarm bell, the 25th conspiracy could be the blueprint.
This morning, rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was assaulted by both men.
Which leaves us with questions too heavy to ignore. Was that London trip really just about recording music, Or was it the night keys to hip-hop's kingdom were quietly handed over? Were Kathy White, Aaliyah, Left Eye, and Michael victims of tragedy, or casualties of a system that rewards obedience and punishes those who resist? And what about the symbols we see so often? The pyramids, the eyes, the hand signs. Are they just marketing tricks, or signatures of allegiance? If so, what does that say about the music we consume, the idols we celebrate, the power structures we unknowingly endorse? The truth may never come out in headlines or lawsuits. Stories like this rarely do. They live in whispers, in strange patterns, in lyrics and symbols hiding in plain sight. But one fact is undeniable. Jay-Z's empire didn't rise in isolation. It rose on secrets, betrayals, and perhaps forces far beyond talent or business. So here's the final question. What happens when those secrets grow too heavy to hide? Does the empire collapse under its own weight, or do the whispers stay whispers forever? Tell me what you think. Are these theories just coincidences stitched into conspiracy, or is there a darker truth hiding beneath the surface of hip-hop's greatest success story? Drop your thoughts below. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, stay sharp, stay curious, and remember, in the world of fame and fortune, nothing is ever what it seems.